Have you noticed strange behaviors in your furry friend, such as sudden escapes or apparent aggression? These are clear signs of insecurity. Because they are prey animals, rabbits have sharp instincts and, even at home, certain triggers can make them feel threatened. Understanding body language and stress signals is fundamental to creating an environment where your rabbit feels safe. A secure rabbit is happier, healthier, and more sociable. In today's video, I'll reveal 7 signs that your rabbit is insecure and how to reverse each situation. Pay attention, because sign number 7 is the most ignored and can transform your relationship. Let's unravel these mysteries together to ensure your bunny's well-being. Sign 1. Tense body posture and prolonged immobility. The first sign of insecurity is also one of the most subtle and therefore dangerous to ignore: total immobility. When a rabbit comes to a complete standstill, its body tenses, ears stand erect and facing forward, and its eyes wide open. It is in a state of maximum alert. Unlike the relaxed state where the rabbit lies down or sits comfortably, this rigid posture indicates that it has detected something it considers a threat. In nature, rabbits freeze when they sense predators, hoping to go unnoticed. Your pet rabbit retains this same instinct. It may freeze because of an unfamiliar noise, a strange shadow, or even a different smell in the environment. Pay special attention if your rabbit frequently freezes in normal, everyday situations. This indicates a chronic level of stress that needs to be addressed urgently. What to do? First, identify the triggers. Observe when and where your rabbit freezes. Is it near the window, when a certain person approaches? During certain times of day? Write down these patterns. Eliminate or minimize threatening stimuli. If it's loud noises, consider moving the cage to a quieter environment. If it's sudden movements, teach the people in the house to move more calmly around the rabbit. Create safe hiding places. Rabbits need places where they can take refuge when they feel threatened. Cardboard boxes, tunnels, little houses, the more options, the better. Never force interaction when he is frozen. Respect his space and wait for him to relax naturally. Forcing contact at this moment only reinforces that the environment is truly threatening. With time and patience, you will see your rabbit freezing less and less, replacing this behavior with curiosity and exploration. Sign 2. Frequently stamping the hind legs. Have you ever heard that characteristic drumming sound coming from your rabbit's enclosure? That's the famous thumping, when the rabbit forcefully thumps its hind feet on the ground. Many pet owners find this funny or simply ignore it, but it's actually an important warning sign. In nature, rabbits tap their feet to warn other group members of imminent danger. It's literally an audible alarm system. A rabbit that occasionally thumps is simply communicating momentary discomfort. That's fine, it's normal. But if your rabbit is thumping its paws several times a day, in different situations, this indicates a chronic state of insecurity and anxiety. Some common triggers include a vacuum cleaner running, a door slamming, strangers visiting, other pets approaching, or even you approaching too quickly. What to do? Validate his feelings. When your rabbit paws at you, don't laugh or ignore it completely. Talk to him in a calm and gentle tone, saying something like "it's okay, you're safe." Even if he doesn't understand the words, the tone of voice matters. Gradually desensitize them. If the noise of the vacuum cleaner scares them, start by leaving the appliance turned off near them for a few days. Then turn it on in another room. Gradually move them closer until they get used to it. Establish predictable routines. Rabbits are creatures of habit. When they know what to expect each day, they feel much more secure. Feed them at the same times, clean the cage on the same day of the week, and maintain consistency. Offer rewards after stressful situations. If something unavoidable frightened your rabbit, wait for it to calm down and offer a favorite treat. This creates positive associations. Remember, the goal is not for your rabbit to never stub its paws, but rather for it to only happen in truly unusual situations, not as part of its daily routine. Sign 3. Defensive aggression and biting. This is one of the most misinterpreted signs. A rabbit that bites, scratches, or lunges at you isn't necessarily bad or rebellious. Most of the time, it's scared. Aggression in rabbits almost always stems from fear and insecurity. When a rabbit has no escape option or doesn't feel safe in its territory, it resorts to attack as a last line of defense. It's important to differentiate between nips of curiosity when they are exploring you and actual defensive bites, which are stronger and usually accompanied by growls. Territorial rabbits will bite when you put your hand in their cage. Frightened rabbits will bite when handled improperly or too quickly. Traumatized rabbits may bite simply because you approach them. What to do? Never pick up your rabbit from above, coming down like a predator. To them, this simulates the attack of a bird of prey. Always get down to their level and offer your hand for them to sniff first. Respect its territory. If your rabbit is territorial about its cage, don't force your hand inside. Instead, lure it out with treats and clean up when it's in an open area. Use thick gloves temporarily only for protection during the rehabilitation process, never as a permanent solution. The goal is to eliminate the behavior, not just protect yourself from it. Use positive reinforcement, approach him, offer a treat, then back away. Repeat this dozens of times until he associates your approach with good things, not threats. Consider spaying or neutering. Hormones can intensify territorial behaviors. Neutered rabbits are generally calmer and more confident. If the aggression is severe and persistent, consult a veterinarian specializing in exotic animals. There may be underlying health issues causing pain, which increases irritability. Patience is key. An aggressive rabbit due to insecurity may take months to transform into a docile companion. SIGN4. Excessive hiding and avoiding interaction. Rabbits naturally like to have hiding places, and it's healthy for them to use these spaces occasionally. However, a rabbit that spends most of the day hiding, only comes out to eat and drink, and runs away immediately when you approach, is demonstrating deep insecurity. This reclusive behavior can have several causes: a very busy or noisy environment, lack of proper socialization as a puppy, previous traumatic experiences, or simply a naturally more timid personality that needs a special approach. The problem is that the longer a rabbit spends in isolation, the harder it becomes to reverse the pattern. It misses out on opportunities for socialization, exercise, and mental enrichment, which can lead to physical and behavioral health problems. What to do? Create a less intimidating environment. If the current location is too open or exposed, redecorate to include more strategic hiding places that allow the rabbit to feel safe while still being able to observe its surroundings. Spend time simply existing near him. Sit on the floor near his hiding place and read a book. Use your phone, or just relax. Don't try to interact. Just get him used to your presence. Do this daily for 20 to 30 minutes. Use treats as a bridge. Place treats further and further away from the hiding place, creating a trail that encourages it to come out. Eventually, place treats in your outstretched hand on the ground. Establish moments of mandatory positive interaction. For example, during mealtimes, be present but calm. Speak softly while feeding him. Over time, he will associate your presence with good things. Never break into his hideout to force him out. That's counterproductive and reinforces the idea that the outside world is truly dangerous. Consider adopting a second rabbit as a companion after proper quarantine and gradual introduction. Sometimes, the presence of another confident rabbit can encourage a shy one. Transformation happens, but it takes time, sometimes months. Celebrate small progress. SIGN5. Repetitive and stereotype behaviors. When a rabbit develops repetitive behaviors with no apparent purpose, such as running in circles in the same pattern, compulsively biting the cage bars, or pulling out its own fur, this usually indicates chronic stress and insecurity regarding its environment. These stereotypical behaviors are the rabbit's way of coping with a situation it cannot control or escape. It's similar to what happens with animals in inadequate zoos. The environment doesn't meet their basic needs for safety and stimulation. What to do? Assess the size of the space. rabbits need much more space than most commercial cages offer. The minimum recommended is 3 square meters of free area for an average rabbit, plus daily time spent roaming freely in a larger area. Dramatically enrich the environment. Add platforms at different heights, tunnels, toys that can be chewed and destroy, toilet paper rolls stuffed with hay, for example, and areas for digging. Increase free roaming time. A rabbit that spends 23 hours in a small cage and 1 hour outside is suffering. Reverse this ratio or, ideally, allow free roaming in a safe enclosure. Provide unlimited hay. Chewing is a natural behavior that reduces anxiety. Hay available 24/7 gives the rabbit a healthy outlet for its chewing needs. Rotate the toys. Change the toys weekly to keep them fresh and interesting. Consult a veterinary behavioralist if the behaviors persist, as they may require professional intervention. SIGN6. Changes in eating and hygiene habits. An insecure rabbit often exhibits changes in eating and grooming patterns. It may eat significantly less, which is extremely dangerous since a rabbit's digestive system needs to be constantly in motion. Others eat compulsively when they feel anxious. Similarly, rabbits are normally very clean animals that defecate and urinate in specific areas. A rabbit that starts relieving itself randomly around the space may be marking its territory due to insecurity or simply to stress to maintain its normal habits. What to do? Monitor your rabbit's food intake daily. Know exactly how much it normally eats so you can detect changes quickly. Any significant reduction in food intake for more than 12 hours requires immediate veterinary attention. Rule out medical causes first. Dietary changes can indicate dental, gastrointestinal, or other health problems. Consult a qualified veterinarian. Reduce environmental stressors. Go back to basics: a calm environment, a predictable routine, and suitable hiding places. For hygiene issues, add more litter boxes. Sometimes rabbits avoid the litter box area because they associate it with something negative. Keep the litter box spotlessly clean. Rabbits are very particular about their habits and may avoid a dirty box. Never punish your rabbit for accidents. This only increases its insecurity. Clean calmly and provide positive reinforcement when it uses the correct spot. Use natural attractants. Place some hay in the litter box or some of his droppings there, helping to reinforce that this is the appropriate place. SIGN7. Lack of natural exploration and play behaviors. This is undoubtedly the sign that most owners ignore, often confusing worrying behavior with a calm or well-behaved personality. However, the absence of joy is extremely revealing. A healthy, mentally stimulated, and above all, secure rabbit is a naturally curious, playful, and exploratory animal. In nature, their survival depends on the constant exploration of their territory. Therefore, at home, they should investigate new objects, perform their famous binkies, those little jumps and pirouettes in the air that are the ultimate expression of happiness, make sudden runs for no apparent reason, and actively interact with every change in their environment. A rabbit that doesn't exhibit any of these behaviors, that seems apathetic, that spends the entire day in the same corner, or that doesn't react to new things with curiosity, is probably living in a state of constant insecurity. It's not being nice, it's in survival mode, not a mode of full life. For it, the environment may seem so unpredictable or threatening that the safest strategy is to become invisible, avoiding any movement that might attract unwanted attention. It's a state of silent hypervigilance that drains the animal's energy and health. What can be done to change this reality? Document the behavior. Sometimes the change is so gradual that we don't notice it. Start recording short videos of your rabbit over the course of a week. If, upon reviewing the footage, you notice that there hasn't been a single binky, no joyful running, or active exploration, you have proof that its well-being is compromised. Review the factors contributing to insecurity. A lack of positive behaviors is usually the cumulative result of multiple factors. Check for excessive noise. If the floor is too slippery, which creates a fear of running, or if the child feels too exposed without sufficient hiding places, Introduce gentle stimuli. Don't bombard an insecure rabbit with 1,000 new things at once, as this can increase stress. Instead, adopt the weekly novelty rule. Offer a cardboard toy, a new vegetable flavor, or open access to a different area of the house for just a few minutes. The goal is to spark curiosity without causing panic. Play at his level. Our height is intimidating for a predatory animal. Lie down on the floor at his level and simply stay there reading a book or using your phone. By becoming part of the environment, you allow him to take the initiative to approach. Some rabbits, once they gain confidence, love gentle fetch games where you make a quick movement and he responds with a little run. Reinforce the positive. Whenever you witness exploratory behavior or a sign of joy, reinforce it. Speak in a soft, enthusiastic voice and offer a small piece of fruit or fresh herbs. You are teaching him that being happy and active is safe and rewarding. Veterinary checkup. It's essential to rule out physical causes. Often, lethargy is the first sign of chronic pain, such as dental or joint problems. A rabbit in pain will never have the confidence to play. Remember to keep your expectations realistic. Just like people, some rabbits are naturally more introverted. However, there is a huge difference between being calm and being apathetic. Every rabbit, regardless of personality, deserves to feel the security necessary to express, at least once a day, the vibrant joy of being who they are. We've reached the end of the 7 tips, and I hope you can now better identify the signs of insecurity in your rabbit and, more importantly, know how to help it overcome these fears. Remember, transforming an insecure rabbit into a confident one doesn't happen overnight. It's a gradual process that requires patience, consistency, and lots of love. But the results are worth every second invested. Seeing your furry friend finally relaxed, playing, exploring, and interacting with you is one of the most rewarding experiences of rabbit ownership. If you apply these tips and still don't see improvements after a few months, don't hesitate to seek out a veterinarian specializing in exotic animals or even an animal behaviorist. Sometimes we need professional help, and there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. And you, have you identified any of these signs in your rabbit? Tell us in the comments which behavior you notice most and how you plan to address it. Let's create a supportive community where everyone learns together. If you found this video helpful, please subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you don't miss any rabbit tips. Share it with other rabbit owners who need to see this. Big hug, and see you in the next video.